I'm going to make a Halloween flower with my stiffy felt. Okay, so this is how it comes, and it's stiff, so it does hold its shape. It's got sparklies on it, and it looks like a green and purple sparkle on this black. So whatever, if you wanted to make a bling center, the purple or the green and the blue. Oh, Sean has them as well. The green or the purple would absolutely look fabulous, right? Because it's got green and purple glitter. Glitter, as my Texas friend says. Okay, now, don't blink because this is really, really easy. I'm going to be using the small board. Now the red one, I did use the large board. Now you can add more petals because you can see the board here, but you can't see it straight on. So it depends the look you want. You can add more petals. So if you add more petals onto the large board, you just do shared holes on row, so this is row 1, 2, 3, 4. Do shared holes on row 4, and then shared holes on row 5, and that will fill it that you don't see the board. Okay? Thank you for floating my boat. But for today's, I'm just going to use the small board, and you guys don't often see me use the small board, but I want to see what it looks like done on the small board. Okay, so I'm only going to be using, on the small board, I'm only going to be using row 3 and row 4. Okay, I'm going to preload open row 3. Just the regular holes, no shared holes. And we're going to be using 16 pieces of felt. But I'm also going to, even though I have the bling rope centers ready to put in it, I'm also going to show you a center you can make with the leftover felt pieces that we're going to be cutting off. How do you guys floating a boat? Jean, that just means sharing. They've shared my live over onto their Facebook page. You're not supposed to say the word share on Facebook. I don't know why, but they don't like it. So, I know it's crazy talk, right? But for those that have floated my boat, thank you very much. Alrighty, so I'm just loading row 3 right now, and we're going to put this just to the side. And we're going to take 2 pieces of our stiffy felt, okay, and I'm going to take the little tags off the back, sticky tags. Now when you're using the soft felt, you need to do it gently so it doesn't pull all the wool. With the stiff felt, it comes off really easy. It doesn't pull anything. Okay, notice I don't even have a cutting mat or anything. We don't need a cutting mat with the stiff felt. So what these pieces of felt are 9 by 12 pieces. Okay, 9 by 12. So 9 this way, 12 this way, and I'm going to have cooked bird for dinner soon. What I'm going to do is I need to make this piece 9 by 9. And the easiest way to do it, without having to use a rotary cutter and all that stuff or a cutting mat, is take your felt and put it like into an L shape, just like that. Okay? And then what you want to do is we're going to cut right here. So I'm going to cut this small piece off, right? Just like that. Flip it over, and then I'm going to cut this one off. Voila, 9 by 9 piece of felt. Easy peasy. Did you blink? You want me to do it again? Now don't throw these out, because I'm going to show you how to make a cool center with the excess of these. Okay, like I said, we need 16 pieces. So put one going vertical, one going horizontal, and you're just going to use your scissors. Make sure they're butt up against each other and just cut down. Like that. Flip it over so you can see that edge. And there we go. With felt, because against the door, it creates moisture and stuff, and your felt could get moldy and stuff like this. With the Unique and the Creek boards, the felt is not even touching the door at all. So you really don't have to worry about ruining the door with felt and stuff or getting moldy, because it's aired out. When the felt is right against the door in a wreath frame, it's kind of trapped and it can't breathe. So it's gonna, once it gets damp, it's gonna create moisture and it's going to create molding. And then that felt could actually potentially leave a circle on the customer's door, like a faded circle, or it could even cause mold on the customer's door. So you don't want to do that. So I always try to tell people to not put felt on the back of their wreath. However, you can put felt on the front of your wreath because it's not touching anything. Okay, so if you have not, if you're going to be using, doing flowers with, you know, fabric and felt and stuff like that, I really highly recommend getting these little plastic sewing clips. They're inexpensive. I actually have a link. I don't know if Tina's on right now. I have a link to Amazon for these tiny sewing clips. They are so handy when working with felt and making felt flowers. So I think they're like $7. I think I got them Canadian for 100 pieces. Do yourself a favor and grab these little clips. You'll thank me later. However, if you don't have the clips, you can use clothespins. Just the clothespins are a little bit bulkier for doing this project, and you'll see what I mean in a second. Okay, so I decided because one side is glitter and one side is just the normal color. There's no glitter on the side. I wanted my glitter inside of my flower petal so that when the sun hits it, you see the inside of the cone. So what you're going to do, I'm going to take one of these clips. Now, again, you can use a clothespin too. What you're going to do is you're going to take the right corner and the left corner, okay, and this is the whole flower. You're going to bring it in and you're going to match the two corners up, okay, just like that, and we're going to put a clip in there. Hold on, I'm right-handed, so I turn it to the left. There we go. So I'm making sure that the two corners inside are together and it's clipped, okay? And then you can see inside, I don't know if you guys can see inside, that the two corners are together like that. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this down, hold on to the corners that are in there with my little clip, and you can see if the corners are butt up perfectly, this will make a complete perfect V shape. See this V shape? Bring this straight down, and then you're going to roll this just in like that. Okay, so this is what you got so far. And it does take a little bit of practice. So you hold the corner, bring it straight down till your fingers are touching the felt inside, okay? You're gonna bring this in And it kind of looks more difficult than it really is right now, but you'll see once I get going, it's really simple. Bring the bottom corner, see the bottom sides here, how it's kind of folded here? Just pinch that together, okay? And pull. You're gonna pull. Hold the bottom, and I'm holding the top in there, and pull. That is your petal. That's it. Now, there is a trick to doing this, so give me a second. What I'm going to do is just put my tip, and I'm going to cut it to the next hole. That way each one, if you just pick something to go by, so I'm just doing here to here, to cut the tip off, then each one will be the same size. Okay? Put it about a fingertip into your zip tie and grab that center where you got it pinched and just push down. So you can see that crease. And zip tie. Now leave your clip on because we're going to do some gluing after we get them all on. We're not going to glue as we're going. We're going to do it when we're finished this whole row. Okay, let's do that again. Okay, again, what you're going to do, you actually put it in a diamond shape, and you're going to roll them in that the corner, the two corners are together inside. So if you put the two tips together and then just roll it, and I'm feeling inside, I can feel that the corners are matching, right? I'm putting my clip on those two corners so I can let go of it. Alrighty. Then again, put your hand in, grab the corner, bring it straight down so your hand is resting on the inside of the felt, and you're gonna pull, ready? Pull your corners where your thing is, and you'll see that the bottom comes together. So this is what we have. It looks like a big cannoli. Put your finger on the tip at the bottom here and pull. All right. Then you're just going to roll this in, tip, grab in the side, and pull. Take the two sides and roll it in, just like that. Okay? And you'll see it makes that heart shape inside. We are only using row 3 and row 4, no shared holes. And then what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to want to cut my tips off this about the same length. So I'm just using, as a guide, 2 holes here. And then you're going to put your petal in, don't let go of that crease, and push straight down. See if I can zoom in a little bit more. There we go. Straight down, so it's flattened on both sides and the crease is standing up there. You're about a fingertip, and zip. Okay. Not too hard, is it? So you'll watch me do this quite a few times. pull too tight. And then I'll show you what we're going to do, because we need to remove those clips. And I'll show you the reason I kept the clips on, so we don't get glue everywhere. So now you're going to take your hot glue, and you could use just normal craft glue as well. Strings. But you want to make sure you're careful with the glue, because you don't want strings everywhere. And this is what I came up with, so I don't have glue everywhere. I'm just lining this one up. Put my clip back in. Okay, now you're going to make sure it's straight. What you're going to do is take your glue gun, and you're going to loosen, just loosen your clip up just a little. Stick your glue gun tip down, squirt it, and then let go of the clip. So that way you're creating a clamp to let the glue dry without getting glue all over the place. Right? How cool is that? So I'm going to just fix my inside of my thing, make sure that the corners, because you can see them better now when the petal's done. So you can see my clamp is right at the edge of my felt on the corners. I'm going to loosen up my clamp just a little bit. Make sure there's not glue running down the side of your glue gun. Napkin. So we're just going to wipe it. Loosen, stick the glue gun right down, give it a squirt, and let go. And come out straight out, so if you have any strings, you can just pull them off. And then let go of the clamp. That way it's gluing and clamping. Alrighty, we are done. So now I'm going to go around and start pulling these clips off. If it comes off, I got glue on it. There we go. And there we go. That's how you don't make a huge mess with it. And they are perfect, every single one. They all match. I don't know if it stops the strings. Good question. There we go. Look. Pretty cool, eh? And it is a heart. It's actually maybe the heart-shaped petal, because look how pretty of a heart it is, right? Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to preload row 5 or 4 on the small board, but we're going to be using shared holes as well. So down and up, closed. The clips I use, the little sewing clips I use, I just got them from Amazon. There is a link under Lori's favorite tools on my website, uniqueinthecreek.com. So when I flip it over, you'll have all row 4. It looks like stitching. So we used shared holes on that. Okay, let's put this glue away for look at the mess I made. And we're going to start it again. This time we're going to cut the tail of it just a little bit shorter. Okay, So take your glitter, felt, glitter side up, get our clips, and the same thing. Roll your corner to your corners meet. And you're not doing it like this. However, you probably could, but it won't make that indentation. So you need to do the corners meeting inwards. And which can I use? I'm going to do the length of this clothespin. And again, I'm going to stick it in. Actually, you know what? I'm going to, just so you guys can see what I'm doing, I'm going to just do the 4 main holes, and then I'll do the shared holes so you guys can see. Put your cannoli in, push down, fingertip, and then that fills that gap, right? Now you can reverse it so you can have the black showing inside and your glitter on the outside. It's totally up to you. And you can do it with a clothespin. Let's use a clothespin on this one. It's just a little bulkier, but you definitely can do it. Well, that was my measurer. These off. For this one, I'm cutting off whatever the length of this clothespin is. So about 3 inches. I'm just using it as a guide so I know what how much to cut off. And it's more so to keep the center nice and clean as well. And now we're going to do our gluing for these. So make sure now that you can see your corners inside, open, squirt, close. There's the big old clothespin. And this is going to be a Halloween flower. I'm so excited. Oh, these strings. Alrighty, now I'm going to now load the shared holes. And that will cover up this spot right here. Take off the clips. Alrighty, do the next 4 and we are done. Now, like I said, you can add more petals if you want. It's totally up to you. When you look at it and when it's hanging on a door, you don't see the board whatsoever, so. Alrighty, last 4 to glue here, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do, and then we'll make a center. Heartfelt. That's a good one. Yes, that's a really good one. I think this, my glue gun is what the issue is here. Alrighty. In between the petals to make it that cool formation. Now you want to make sure, I have my scissors down there, that anything that's puckered in is pushed out. Okay, so what you can do now is take a little bit of glue, and you don't need a lot, just put a little bit of glue right on the side there. Use your little clip, and you can see they're perfectly the same length as they totally meet up. See how they are exactly the same length? I think I did good. We're done. The flower. That's it. And that's how you get that shape. Now I'm going to have to get some tweezers I think I need a new glue gun. You can just heat it up with a dry or two in your glue pieces. And you really can see the strings because it's black. Alrighty, so there we have it. Okay, so straight on you don't see the board, but you can on the side. So you could add more petals if you want. Now for your centers, you can do whatever you want. Look at that green. Look at that. So it's got the green glitter inside the petal and then the green center. Let's see what it looks like with the black. Ooh, fancy. You could even use purple because it does have the purple glitter in it. Right? Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. Okay, let's make a cool center with the green is cool, right? So I'm going to make a cool center with this left over. Let's use up the whole felt, right? Now, like I said, I will be changing this or editing this for a tutorial. So I'm going to get my... Okay, well, I'm going to write something on my wax paper to remind myself of my marker. Okay. Open is upwards. And then I'm going to write to the left. And you'll see why in a second. Okay. It's a bling rope, but it's not on the website yet. It won't be. I'm waiting for the last box. It should be here today. It's en route to be delivered today. And hopefully I'll have it all up by tonight. Okay, so you're going to take your felt piece left over. There's the sparkly side. I have the plain side upwards. I love your gems too, right? I'm going to fold this in half. Okay. I'm going to put some glue at the bottom. Now you've seen me do this before, but this is going to be just a little bit different. And I think the whole thing in black is going to look fabulous. Okay, let's do a couple of them like that. Fold it in half to get that crease. It's easier to fold it beforehand without having the glue and trying to fold it. Okay, for this, I want the open end, so that's what I wrote down, the open end up, so that means where I glued my piece of felt at the bottom. And then what I want to do, I'm going to make snips in this, but I'm going to have them going diagonal, okay? So meaning I'm going to have my snips going to the left. And we want to make, when you're doing a center like this, you want to make sure that each one is always cut the same way. So that's why I reminded myself that the open edge is upwards and then my diagonal cuts are going towards the left. So I'm leaving about a ½ inch at the bottom so you don't cut all the way through. And they're about a ¼ of an inch apart each snip. Where's my bird? That thing's nuts. You had to make more hocus pocus signs, Janie? Yeah, I did a wreath yesterday. Okay. So you can see that my snips are not straight up and down, they're actually diagonal. Everybody's saying hello, Dave. All right, now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take, you need your glue, and you're gonna roll just the edge down. And then when it starts coming together, it makes these really cool points. And I'll show you in a second. Now getting it started is the more difficult part, and you want to make sure that your roll is always going with the edge here. And it's a little more difficult or tricky to do it with the stiff felt, but it makes a cool effect. Watch when I open it up. I actually can't see too much with just this little piece, but you see how it's going to form this like pointed kind of center. Some of my snips are not down enough. And then I'm going to continue. I'm going to add some glue. That's where I left off. I'm actually going to cut this corner right off. So hold it there. Oh, I think I might be going the wrong way. Yep. So you want to make sure, see my snips? The snips, when I put them on, back on, they're all going, I don't know if you can see that, they're all going to the left. When I put that glue on, I had the snips going to the right. We don't want them going, we want them all going the same way. So just take note of that when you're putting it the next one back on. Alright, and then you're gonna and just roll. Make sure your pieces are not caught in when you're rolling. Okay, make sure when you're adding, the snips are going all the same way, mine's to the left. So it does take a little bit, but it's inexpensive because you're just using your leftover from your flour. that's enough. So I used 12 of the leftover ends. I'm going to definitely hit it with the blow dryer. Okay, I'm going to take a black pipe cleaner. I'm going to glue all over the place. Make sure your edges are in there really, are glued really well. Okay, and I'm going to take a piece of this felt, just a little square. And then what you can do is put a pipe cleaner right on the center here. Okay. And then take your felt. Just hold it down. What I want to do is I want to kind of open this up a bit. Because it is stiff, so we want to loosen it up a bit so it's a little more open. So just grab it and open it up there. Alrighty, and now I'm just gonna put it in my center here. So you take one zip tie, or one pipe cleaner, go down one hole, go straight across to the other hole. Now you can just glue it. Oh, not dry yet. You can just glue it, literally glue the felt right into the center. It will glue just fine if you just use normal hot glue. I think that's pretty cool. What do you guys think? My Halloween flower, I think it's fab. I don't know if I like this center or this one better. What do you guys like better? I honestly think I like the black one, the felt one, better in the center. What do you guys think? Pretty cool, eh?